influencer off the top of my head, like seriously, who's done something wrong, and then the community's gone, you know, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt or the chance to, you know, redeem yourself or the chance to learn from it and not make mistakes or something like that. Like, I think because the biggest thing, and I know this is like I said, wasn't relating to me, but now it relates to me. If you looked at like, you know, the CS:GO drama and stuff like that, the CS:GO Lotto drama back then, I understand people's views on like moral takes and stuff like that, and that's not what I'm getting into. But like, if you look at it from like an actual practical side of the core, like way the drama first came about was promoting something without saying you owned it. But the top and bottom is we didn't know we had to do that. Like, that's just the truth of how like that situation panned out. We didn't know. Like if a brand deal says, "Oh, you have to pay to promote this," just like me with Xbox back in the day when I did brand deal with them, like there was no rules back in the day that said you had to promote it because you didn't know. You know what I mean? And it's just crazy because like people, this space is so new and the rules are forever growing and changing. Obviously, like someone kills someone, oh, they're fucking murderer. You know what I mean? Like case, someone's a fucking pedophile. You know, like, someone's a fucking pedophile. Like, you know, if it's clear cut case by law, you know, like by law proven, like, that's what they are. Sure, but there's a lot of things that the internet decide is the rule of this week or is the rule of this month or the rule of this year, and then hold that accountable for certain people. It's really, really strange. There's like a whole commentary community that, you know, I know a lot of people from the commentary community space where, you know, it's easy for them to talk about the drama of things and be negative about things. You know, some people, some channels do like, I like people like Pyrocynical. Like I really like that guy. You know, he's a very interesting character, very funny character. I do like him. But you know, there's a lot of things where people can add to a situation and a conversation, and then there's like parts where people just straight up like rip on it, and then it brings this toxic community together, just ripping on a certain topic or drama or whatever, and it just adds nothing to it. But then the thing is, they're making money out of it, so they're going to keep doing it, and then other people see them making money out of it and growing big from it, so then they want to keep doing it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a very, very, very weird space. But at the same time, that's just the way the world works. You know, like you turn on the news, like yeah, you could read like, oh, you know, this guy donated £1 million to charity. This guy did 100,000. This person collected 9 billion bottle caps. This person did this. You'll read the quick news of like that's positive, that's positive, that's positive. Then you see something that's like bad, like there is an odd, like if you read news like this person's trying to raise £1 million for charity. They're on 500,000. You'll be like, right, cool. We'll get there eventually, or you'll follow along. But if it goes like, this is an ongoing hostage situation, you're like, just watch this, see how it pans out. You know what I mean? Like, it's a very, very weird, very, very weird sort of thing to like follow along with. Like, it's a shame. 1,000 people could come up to you in a row and be like, oh, you look great. Oh, I like you. I'll give you all compliments. Like 1,000 people in a row could give you compliments. But then one person comes up to you and goes, you're a fucking prick. I hate you. I'm going to spit on your grave. You will walk away and you will not be able to remember all 1,000 of the positive instances except the one negative. Like, you'll remember some of the positive, obviously, like, because there's so many of them. But you will unfortunately remember that. Just such a weird take. But yeah, just bonkers. Yeah.
I truly...
It's a very, very complicated situation, but here's what Nadeshot had to say about some of Ray's friends who were fronting.
They really, really are. And
the last thing I'll say on this topic is friendship, okay?
Yeah. So many people seem to have thrown under the bus.
I brought up that example with T-Mart. So some people were upset with me on my take on T-Mart when he brought up the Gucci bag on Twitter. It was basically like, hey, it's not for me. I don't like it, but I think this is really cool for the industry. I was upset with Trevor because I'd known him for 10 years. And the way that I was raised, like with Hector and a lot of my boys that I came up with in the gaming community, if you worked hard on a project and you're really excited about it, no matter what, unless this is something that's fucking killing people and my friend is completely out of their mind on what they're getting behind and what they're supporting, I'm going to show love to them and be like, hey, this is really cool. Great job. I'm really excited about it. I saw some of Ray's friends on social media basically say, I don't know why everybody is so upset about Reflect Skin. Now, I'm a woman. Would I buy this product after using it and unboxing it? Absolutely not. This product is not for me. But stop being mad at Ray. I'm like, hold up. Why did you just add your 2 cents in here? You've made about 10 tweets now about Valkyrae saying everybody should stop bashing her. But then you gave this review where you're basically like, this product sucks. It's a sham. Don't buy it. I'm never using it again. I'm like, couldn't you just kept your fucking mouth shut? Like, don't say that you're Ray's friend, claim to be Ray's friend, and you're online trying to tell everybody, no, back off, don't talk about Ray. The product sucks, but don't talk about Ray. I'm like, I couldn't believe some of these people that came out of the woodwork claiming to be Ray's friend, but over here tweeting about it,
This guy looks like he's got a donger in the background.
gaslighting the product just so that they could get some interactions. I'm pissed off.
I agree with Nate there. There was so many people that even I don't follow or saw in the news articles and stuff like that. That were just like friends of Ray's, but then it's like, you know, if you haven't got anything good to say, don't bother saying it at all. You know what I mean? And it just seems like people would really just in there to be involved in the drama of it. So it's preaching the truth.
Let's change the topic.
And it's just like, at the end of the day, I'm glad that we can have a relaxed conversation. We can sit back, watch some clips. All of you guys watching at home can type out your comment, and no matter how you feel, you can let me know, because it is a very complicated situation. I feel bad for Ray in this situation, but you know, this is something she's gonna have to deal with for a long, long time. This will be a permanent mark on the record, and I think she is.
Yeah, I really will watch all this, man. I've been really enjoying this podcast.
Though, when somebody like you, number 2 on the list, comes into their chat, it's like a really big.
But it was a crazy amount of fun, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Do you think of
It's
like
so interesting
viewership when you're doing
XQC?
whatever you do? I mean, you do some marathon streams. You grind so many hours. Like, is it ever like, man, I got to go play some GTA RP because I was higher in viewers on that? Or
Ooh, it's a good question.
Yeah.
People will say I'm lying about this, but
I didn't want. I know I've said this before. I know I've said this before, but I love XQC. I wish we would have crossed paths like way sooner in like careers and stuff like that, because I genuinely think he's a fucking really nice guy. And I know it sounds like I'm brown nosing, but I'm not. I've got no. I've been in this industry, done my 11 years, done what I wanted to do. You know, been here, done that. But there's like certain people in this industry that I really like and really click with. You know, if I had to like count on my hands, it's like, you know, from a YouTube perspective, like Jesse from Prank vs. Prank, if you remember that way back in the day, I love that guy. Like, love everything that he does. Very creative guy. Casey Neistat, very creative guy. Got like so much time for him. MKBHD, absolutely love him. You know, like that sort of guy as well. These are like people that I think are great dudes. Ali A, another like real strong staple of people in this industry that I've known really well. Hex. Like, you know, people that you create like a long friendship with that you've known for a long time, or you know of, like these people in that list there that are named of like people I'm close friends with, and then people that I just like know of, and it's just like to be good friends with. I think XQC would be just like one of the funniest guys to know.
I stopped having viewer count anywhere on my show, anywhere that I can see it.
Like, it's so funny because it's like you got the gaming side of him, which is just like fucking just comes out with some random shit. And then you've got like this talk of him where he's just got like such like nice, polite side. Like, obviously not everyone walks around being the video game, you know, dude that they are. But yeah, it's just so interesting.
Like, I think it's like now 2 years. I don't remember when it was that I chose it, but now I just hide it just because I have more fun. I want to do what I want to do, and most of the time that ends up being
the best.
What will get more viewership? What I want to do. So I'm tired of like steering the boat through numbers when steering the boat how I want to steer it is what gets viewers. So it's kind of how it is.
Man, you gotta have a lot
he
of.
speaks so fucking fast, dude. For him to articulate something, there's so many. Not you scared the shit out of me. That's what I'm talking about then. Like, I appreciate the 500 bits. But like, he's so quick at, you know, like trying to work out what he's saying, and not in a laughing at him way or anything like that. He's just he's just funny. He's just great. He's just so that got me. Yeah, did that get you guys? It's just really interesting.
Discipline too. I tried hiding my viewer count because, you know, I fell off the face of the earth. And
you know what? No. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Yeah, it's a lot of discipline.
I don't know how you don't go search yourself. I hide it, but then I'm like, all right, fuck it, dude. There's not enough people talking in the chat. Let me see how bad it really is. So then I go look it in the directory.
It's always embarrassing how disciplined I am with it. So there's something that I do. I always cringe at myself doing it, but I know why I do it. So sometimes I'll have to give myself subs because I lost a bet with my chat, right?
Yep.
and I have to go to my page to give myself subs, and I'll blur my eyes out as I'm gifting subs, so I don't look at it. That's how crazy I am with it.
Damn.
You know what?
You're committed.
This
Wait,
is
he doesn't read his viewership?
testament though to a lot of creators at home, and I think some of them watch these podcasts. If somebody like XQC, as successful as he strays away from looking at his analytics that much, I'm telling you, it's a disease. You can get so lost in the numbers, how many people are watching, the engagement that you're getting, how many chatters there were on YouTube, like my watch time, and it's toxic.
Just do you.
It really is.
Really
But then one thing I always advise people is if you're doing something that you enjoy, just do that and focus on that rather than what other people think of it, saying about it, or anything like that.
It can fuck with you mentally for a
so
long
bad.
time.
For a crazy amount of time, especially if you don't understand it. And the problem
The thing is, like, when you're absolutely booming and absolutely huge, like killing it, like someone like XQC is, then you can look at numbers and be like, ha ha ha. You know what I mean? But like, if you used to get like 70,000 views one day, and then one day you're only getting 30,000 views, you're like, where the fuck are the rest of the people? Like, with any channel.
is that these analytics are very complicated, and not a lot of us understand them. And I don't think people will ever understand them because things come out of various sources, like chatters.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'm gonna put in. I'm just gonna put in my title, lunch break. Fuck it, I'll just put myself in just chatting. Let's say, guys, I'm on my lunch break, okay? Let's take us out of that. Just chatting.
Oh, my chat's slower now. Oh, am I being unentertaining? Sometimes I'll play a new game, right? And I'll have crazy viewership, right? And then chat's kind of dead. And I realized one day, it's like, oh my God, people are actually watching the game. Can you believe that? I'm playing a new game, people are actually watching the game and not spamming in the chat.
That's actually really funny because I'm playing New World right now, but I stream on YouTube, as XQC once called me when we were playing the Rust server, a dead YouTube streamer, but that's neither here nor there. Don't worry, it's accurate now, though. But no, I've been playing New World on YouTube, which YouTube does not have Twitch drops. It also isn't like the main place where all the other New World streamers are. I'm like me and Lupa were the only two on the entire platform who are streaming this game. So I know my viewership's going to be lower, yada, yada. But when my chat is slower in New World, and then I go, yo, say hello in the chat if you guys are here, like just lurking. And they're like, sorry, man, I'm not talking. I'm playing New World and just chilling. Like, it's the most chill game ever because it's like chopping trees and shit.
Yep.
I think that one of the biggest things with my viewers is lurkers. Like, obviously, if I'm playing something that's really active and I'm like talking to you guys, I can have the same viewers for like playing the same game, just chatting stream or whatever it is. Like, for example, if you're in my stream right now, just say hi. Like, the amount of lurkers were like, oh yeah, I'm working on the side or I'm doing this. Like, people lurking, I do it all the time. I watch people's streams all the time and I don't even bother saying anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many people who will just sit there in a stream and not talk. And that's absolutely fine. Like, you don't have to be in a stream and constantly be like, hi or active or anything like that. But if you realistically think about it, like, look at that. There's so many people who've just spoke for the first time ever in the chat. But like, yeah, like lurkins, I lurk all the time. It's just like you go to a stream like there's crazy stream chats like XQC and like I don't want to ruin their names, like Misfit and stuff like that. Like, where their chats just pop in all the time, like the most viewership, like it's just fucking crazy. Like, but it's like a true Twitch, true Twitch group of people. You know what I mean? I feel like the same people who view XQC are in the same friendship group as like Hassan. And again, I don't know these guys that much. Like, I found out through who Hassan was and stuff like that through like XQC and then being part of their squad and their friendship group and all this. So it's really interesting because it's like, the audience follows them and then it splits off, and it's almost like, like the Tommy in It Dream people. Like, one guy blows up and then shares that viewership along, and then they blow up, and then boom, you know what I mean? It's very very interesting.
Everyone's just like vibing out. You got the ambiance, and it's like you forget that that's a completely different experience compared to when I'm playing Warzone with 3 other streamers and we're all fucking harping on each other, making jokes, and everyone's laughing in the chat or adding in fuel to the fire. So
of course,
it's all things you have to consider.
It's a bunch of facets, and yeah, I was gonna ramble about this.
Nah, Vlog Bro, I don't know. I don't really know.
Well,
nobody wants to hear about this.
I actually kind of want to go back to the Twitch leak, and not so much about the numbers, but your life changed substantially in the last couple years, financially, from a fame standpoint. And we actually got to dig in with Tyler quite a bit, who's probably dealt with it the worst out of anybody.
I really,
and
really want to
the,
listen
the
to
shift of
Ninja's
like how
podcast
he
as
can
well.
actually operate every single day, going out in public, dealing with his friends, dealing with his family who aren't creators, who don't live in this world. Has your life become, you know, more money, more problems? Like, has it become harder in any situation with family or close friends that don't really understand what you do when they find out how much money you're making, or when people are coming up to you at the mall or in public? Is it been difficult at all?
No, I mean,
He seems
money-wise,
so
not at all.
humble. Like, he seems so humble and so
you know,
lovely.
I enjoy like treating my
Like,
family.
seriously.
Sometimes, like, you know, if I want to buy somebody a gift, I can afford it, and that's like a big relief. If I want to pay bills, it's like it's good.
Honestly,
but
like-
money has never like played a role in negatively like that anyway.
Amazing.
And fame, also not. I mean,
Everyone
use the
say
word
hi in the
fame. I
chat.
don't like using these words sometimes, like fame, but
I hear you.
Okay, but see, it's like things like fame outside, no problem. Even when there's like, if like a fan or a viewer comes up and asks for a picture, it makes me probably happier than makes them to be.
I need
think.
to make this chat
I enjoy taking
smaller.
pictures and interacting with people because it makes things more real. Like when you scream at a piece of plastic all day, right? You scream at your monitor and you yell at air. Seeing someone in real life that's actually there, it's like, oh wow, this is actually this is a real thing. And
it's
that's,
so
that's been
weird.
my relationship. I don't.
For fuck's sake, sorry. I constantly have people asking me where Spider-Man is. Right, I'm on lunch break. Fuck it, I'll put it in the title. Number one, I will always say the number one downside of streaming is being asked the fucking same question a million times. Always will.
Interact with the outside.
Everyone in the chat, just spam me on his
I
lunch
enjoy
break.
being inside and playing games and streaming.
Bye bye, but it's 4 o'clock. Don't give a fuck.
That it's a breath of fresh air when I sit outside, and it hasn't
Spider-Man.
really been
Spider-Man.
How often do you get noticed when you go outside?
negative. Like I would say twice or once every time I
Really?
go out. Yeah.
Oh, every time you go out.
Yeah.
So like you go to the grocery store. I thought just I was like, what is
in total.
Yeah, I think it's quite easy, like living in LA or something like that. It's quite easy to get about without getting noticed. Well, then again, the people I hung around with in LA were always older than me, like 10, nearly 20 years older than me. So I was going to places and bars where like younger people weren't. But I wouldn't change that in the slightest, because like when I'm in the UK and I'm going out with my friends now, like I'll go out to like the bar or restaurants or something here, and it's like where, you know, any age category of people are going, or like my friends at the same age. Like say we're going on a night out, we'll bump into viewers, fans, that sort of stuff, and it's like lovely. And my audience has grown up now, so I'm like 10 years older than them, but I'm nearly 30, and they're, you know, like they're 21, 22, 25, or whatever. So it's just like, see what I mean? You know, so it's just like you can meet people you'd expect to meet people in certain places. Like if I was going to a shopping mall or a supermarket, so you know, what do we call it? Supermarket mall, like shopping center. There you go. If we went to like a shopping center, yeah, if we went to the shopping center, for example, like that guy that said, Tom, I haven't cheated a while, but sorry, the traffic center as well. Yeah, if I went to like a superstore or whatever it was, a shopping center, the chances are you bump into more viewers because that's like people from your age and all that sort of stuff. And I've people come up to me like all the time. Like I've done it. That's happened for years. Like I'm so glad though that like so strange, but like it's so nice to meet people. Like, and it's just so natural and it's just so casual, rather than it being like the screaming kid phase of like when I like kind of first started out, because it was a bit of a mix. But yeah, like really nice. Like it's so nice to know like this audience that I've had over 11 years. Like think about it, total my YouTube and views and all that is like 2.6 billion views. It's been so nice though, because it's like this just like genuinely, like, you know, is that like mutual respect of like knowing each other. Like I know you've watched me for such a long time, or know of me for such a long time, and that sort of stuff. And I just love like when I go to people, I'm like, thank you very much, because like my thing now is like it's not even so much anymore as like thanks for watching me, because I don't post as much content and they don't watch me anymore. But it's more of a, I get to thank people that like say, oh, like, thanks for making my childhood or whatever. I'm like, nah, thank you for getting to me where I am in life. Like if you would have never have watched like my videos, like I wouldn't be where I am. So like legit thanks. So it's nice to be able to thank people. I've always said that. Like when I meet people, I always thank them for like watching my videos. I do. That's like my biggest takeaway. I've got a big spot on my chin. But yeah, that's my biggest takeaway. I always get to say thanks to people, and I absolutely love it. But yeah, what else was it? Yeah, I will say it's so much nicer to be able to like go out and blend in, and not stand out too much. Like because like, if you stand out too much and you're a bit too obvious, or you walk around with like bright blue hair or something like that, people recognize you. You know, it's nice to be spotted. and it's nice to meet viewers. But at the same time, if you're just out with your friends, your family, sometimes it's nice to just like be normal. You know what I mean? Like no one cares, no one gives a shit about you. Quite nice.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Sometimes more, but I don't compute those. Sometimes they'll like look at me.
Yeah, I
and
said
like,
this. If someone said right now, like, we could make you the #1 most popular person, you'd earn shitloads of money, you have all the followers in the world, like, would you do it? I was like, no. I appreciate it, but like, I legit wouldn't. I've been there. I legit been there. Hit #1 where I wanted to hit #1. Grew to as big as I wanted to grow. Did what I wanted to do differently, from gaming to vlogging to traveling. Like, I would not want that attention. No thanks. A bit more settled. Do you know what I mean? Nice. Relax. Switch
and
off.
Double take.
and they keep doing it. And sometimes they'll go like, "Hey man," and then I'll wait till what they say, because usually they're fans, and then they engage.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like I can see myself being shy, because whenever I had people that I would come up with or recognize, I'm shy towards them, so I understand how they're shy, and it would make me feel happy if these guys engage me, so I engage them instead.
Yeah, no,
That's
I think
a
it's
good guy XQC.
I think it's
right
really
there.
interesting
I like that.
to hear your take on fame. I actually have a question for you. And Austin, I want to hear what you think it is first before we ask XQC.
Oh, you want me to think what the answer is? Before?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think the most like viewed or known XQC clip is from all the legendary moments? I have a guess, which is why I brought this up.
But certainly the one where I was kissing him.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea.
Yeah. So that was the Eagle version. Now can we?
Okay.
Now
That wasn't even
Can I
honest.
take my guess now?
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Go ahead and check it out at Chipotle. Go ahead and check it out at Chipotle.
Last couple years when all these new categories popped up, just chatting, hot tubs, like what people were calling the new meta. I feel like the angry mob is sort of downturned a little bit. They're not as loud anymore, but obviously, you know, you got people like Hassan who are really successful without video games. More streamers are becoming more viewed without video games.
It's
People
crazy
have
how
dating shows.
popular Hassan
I've
is.
dated-
I don't do
yeah,
politics
fucking
or anything
awesome.
like
God
that, so.
damn it.
Oh yeah,
not my
this
place
guy
to
stealing my
speak on
viewership
it,
with
but
his
yeah, it's
non-gaming content,
Dude,
Get this
I was
guy
gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you. Did you
already.
ever, when we were? I mean, back. This has been now. I'm nowhere near you, but there was a time when we would teeter back and forth when I would do my shows,
Well,
not daily, and I needed every big content creator I could find.
So
to
the
do
only
it.
reason why
Hey,
I would know.
23 months, bro.
I still never got an invite.
Are they celebrating this one now?
Yeah, well,
They
it's a 100 Thieves moment. is
Yeah.
what
Well,
I'm
yeah,
saying.
Austin and I high five all the time,
That's right.
sporadically. There's never really
Anyway.
any rhyme or reason.
Finish.
It just so happened to be just right there.
XQC just said unrelatable.
I would only notice because your chatter would say, "Go on the Austin show," and that's how I would know you would be live. I didn't look at numbers.
I've never heard of the
I don't
Austin
like giving
show.
what you have
I
your
don't-
viewer count. But if the reason why I would
really
know
never knew what
that
you did.
you would be up there live is that people would say, "Go on the Austin show. You should see what this girl did." And then I would get, and based on how much spam there was, I'm like,
Wait,
okay,
chat,
yeah.
right. Genuine question. Type in yes or no, like legit respond to this. Do you guys know who this is on the left? Like, if you ever watched his content? Definitely more no's, but I don't know if that's because it's like British, more British viewership.
We're probably competing in viewership and on the just chatting.
Yeah,
It's crazy on YouTube, like legit so crazy on YouTube. The other day, I found some like UK YouTuber, like a gaming channel guy, gets like 3 million views a video. I have never heard or seen of the guy ever. He's got like 10 million subs, killing it on views. Never heard of him, and he's been doing it for like never fucking heard of him. But where did this guy come
There
from?
was a time where if I'm being honest with myself,
Show?
I was kind of combative a little bit, but it didn't last very long. Of like, I didn't want to be a content purist because now I think that's a problem. I think now you mentioned the actual question. It's like the purist. Oh, it has to be this content.
Yeah.
Oh, gaming
It's
content.
Twitch. It's only gaming.
Oh yeah, gaming content is AAA, and these guys they're
Raj
just
Patel's his previous name on a show host? No way. No, no. You trolling. Raj Patel is an old school RuneScape guy, right?
talking to the mic and just chatting. That's beef.
And like an accent.
I don't say it that way. If people make a piece of content or content that people want to consume, then so be it. And if that's a successful thing, then so be it. And who am I?
Raj Patel is what? That's him? What? What? Did you no? Raj Patel was like part of the old school RuneScape. Eh? Wait, Raj Patel, I know from the old school RuneScape community. Did he have an accent? I don't know if I remember. Did he pretend to have an accent in the? Nah, you're capping right now. What?
That's better. Now we're looking better today. There we go. Now we got somebody looking a little fresh.
Is that him?
Looking a little. Now we got some fresh stream meat, if you will.
Nah.
To interview. All right, we're bringing on the next guest. He's on the camera right now. Just give me one moment. We'll get him.
You are fucking capping. Then when I said I don't know who he is, I know exactly. Well, I don't know exactly who he is, but I know exactly who he is. I used to go into like old school RuneScape category, and then he would have girls on and have a dating show, and I just thought it was some guy called Raj, who was interviewing these guys. He was role playing as an Indian guy. But did everyone know he was role playing as an Indian guy? What the fuck? Everyone knew that was like it. That was like his FPS Russia. Austin show. Eh?
And I have the pleasure of welcoming one of the largest, biggest internet.
Town's pretty big. And anyway, the local newspaper's done that now, so.
Whoa. That's mental. Wait, so has he got like old ones?
I told myself I wouldn't hit on you, okay? It's going to be very challenging. You know I have... Yeah. All right.
I didn't know we let children on this show.
Yeah, well, just for one question, because he is a friend of George's. Tommy, please.
What? Yeah, it was so obvious. You're telling me that a guy who I had no idea was playing... was putting on an Indian accent. I can't believe that's him. No way. That is insane. So it's me like, I don't know who this guy is, and I actually do know him as a legend from the old school RuneScape community. Again, I'm not saying it in any offensive way, but you know, like he said in his statement, like if he feels like he's offended a culture, then absolutely, but no fucking way. I know him from the RuneScape community, not anything else. Wow. Right.
I or who is anybody to say that
God, it's funny how things have like a way of working out.
It's bad content or not as valid content. It's what people want.
That's actually a great perspective. No, in a very much smaller vacuum, I had a really big issue with this. Before Rice Gum blew up on YouTube, he was streaming on the platform that I was on at the time, MLG TV, and he would play Call of Duty, but he would like FaceTime girls into his gameplay. Yeah. So he would just be talking to girls on Tinder or FaceTime porn stars. And I was losing viewership to him on a very small website. And it was driving me fucking crazy. I'm like, guys, how do I compete with this? I'm not going to bring girls on. Like, my whole shtick.
That's K's reaction to finding out it wasn't Indian.
Is like, I'm okay at the video game. Not very entertaining, but it's been my way to get it to the top.
Yeah.
I can't handle the women on the stream. I can't do it.
You can't do it.
But now my perspective on it shifted quite a bit just because I ventured into the world of YouTube and I realized, like, content, there's a community for somebody everywhere. And I really shouldn't compete with others just because I don't agree with why it wouldn't work for me. It was just like a very narrow-minded way of thinking. I did grow, actually.
Growing.
I struggle with that a lot.
We brought up so many different topics so far. I actually want to give you the magic wand, XQC. You can do whatever you want. What is like one change that you think Twitch needs?
Ooh, good question.
And I have multiple things, but let's start with Twitch.
I guess you'd have to reflect on that. Okay. Well, if it was only one thing, that's actually a difficult question.
We can go back to it. How about Overwatch 2?
Overwatch 2?
Yo,
anything.
Woodley, how do you feel on that?
It's the same game.
It is.
Overwatch 2 is Overwatch 1.
It is.
It's like the meme where they
yeah, what the fuck? Why did Overwatch 2 come out? It's the exact same fucking game.
Pulls out the thing.
Yeah.
The Scooby-Doo meme.
Dude, because weren't you watching it the other day and you were like, it's the same fucking game or some shit? Like, I saw a clip of that and you were like... It was clipped a little bit out of context, I think, but
it's a little disappointing. But
Yeah.
I understand the vision that they have for their own game, and that's how they chose to direct it. Maybe
It's not out yet, but it's the same game, right?
people are just upset at the title that it's Overwatch 2 and it's not like Overwatch Reborn or Overwatch Continuity or whatever.
yeah.
Right. I think people are just
Look at Nate. Look at Nade's. Watch Nade's face just processing what XQC just said.
just born or Overwatch
sentence,
Continuity or whatever.
Yeah.
Continuity. Watch Nade's reaction at the word he just said.
Right. I think people are just Reborn or Overwatch Continuity or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. I think people are just
It's like he can't fathom. Oh my god, this is really got me cracking up.
mad
It's like he
Overwatch,
can't work out what's
Continuity or
going on.
whatever.
Yeah.
Right. I think people are just
Oh my god, someone needs to turn that into a GIF. I would use that on Twitter all the time.
Overwatch
When your friend texts a fucking joke in the lads chat that no one understands.
Continuity or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. I think people are just mad about that.
I mean,
That's
I think it really is
hilarious.
interesting that it does.
Oh,
The
that's
game
just
does
fucking
feel
well
like it
funny.
could just be one big patch, like a
yeah,
Oh.
it'll probably be one big patch.
Yeah,
but
that
I think
is
with
so
PvE
funny.
stuff and whatnot and whatever, I think that as a consumer,
Yeah.
just don't be biased. You probably will still have the amount of content you pay for when you buy the game, and that's pretty much what people should I think care about.
yeah.
Of course, it can be the old Overwatch people like, oh, it's Overwatch 2 should be like this, like that. But nobody that I've met, so I don't think I've ever disappointed anybody.
I think I want to end with this. I've heard you mention him a few times. Is Wreckful, and he's made an impact on so many people on Twitch. When he passed away, that that was I'll never forget that day.
Sure.
He's definitely a legend. XQC, this was an awesome episode. We got to hear about so many things. I know we
learned a
grilled
lot
you.
of I learned
We
a lot
grilled
of
you with a
things
lot
that-
of questions, but it was interesting because I know I've been able to watch you a lot, but as Matt said, he doesn't get to keep up a ton with from a Twitch perspective.
It
how
was,
busy
it, was,
he
it, was,
so.
yeah, it was cool to hear just some of the small things that kind of made you you. I actually find that
Okay.
really interesting.
Well, thanks for having me on. Thanks for all the questions. I enjoy all the questions. I wish we had more time to just talk. Just no more.
Geared up, like Twitch was the only option. Were you considering YouTube? Were you considering Facebook? Like, what was the biggest priority for you?
Really good question, man. Talk about that for like half a second.
I will, but I'll do
Don't
real
worry,
quick. We're
I
gonna do real fast this or that. Apples or oranges?
Eating. So many great guests on this podcast, and we've been able to ask this question. It's one of my favorite questions I get to ask, and it's to like put into the ecosystem and universe.
So that, so.
This is a good one.
Do you have?
Is there anything Ninja regrets?
Is there anything you regret as Ninja in this time? Yeah, I'm asking a really good question. I mean, we're over an hour on the podcast now. We're ending soon.
Yeah, we'll cut out the dumb shit. I don't know. We'll give you some good stuff. You just clear out the worst. So do you want to ask that again with Matt sitting down?
No, it's fine. This is how the podcast.
It's the Courage and Nadeshot show.
It all makes sense. The only people missing out are the people that are listening only and not watching the video. But go ahead.
It's a damn shame, dude. Something that I regret.
Lost in New York's Times Square. Sure, that's his only thing.
Don't say coming on this podcast.
No, absolutely not. I love
Or
you
on
guys,
me.
man. This is a blast. I'm having fun.
Do you regret yelling at me on Call of Duty Warzone?
Absolutely not what he yelled.
Can we guys? So is this Will now a host on this show? So is it the Courage and Nadeshot and Will show?
More.
You regret yelling at me after our 5-win streak when I jumped.
No,
and
fuck
suicided.
No, I hate you because you did that for the content and it worked, and that's why I hate you even more.
I got 2 videos from that.
Oh my god,
videos from
man.
what?
Do you regret letting me fly in your private jet 3 times?
Absolutely not, man. Again, believe
The
it or
only
not,
time- the
believe it or not, I like you a lot.
Do you regret?
Okay, you just use this as an excuse.
Do you
to
regret?
plug your own
You
shit.
got-
Do you regret? Wait. Do you regret when we were in Vegas and you doubled down when I was about to roll dice, and I crapped out instantly and you lost?
That's literally that
thousands?
was the weekend for me, bro. Every time I put more money down when someone was hot, even if it was half a second and I didn't interrupt the roll.
Okay, sorry. Do you actually have any real regret?
I don't know. I mean, everything I've done has led to what I have right now, and I don't think that anyone who has a solid fucking IQ would say that I'm not well off. So, like, I don't regret anything. I would say maybe like recently, I wish that recently, almost instantly when I signed with Twitch, that I kind of like tried to stream more Fortnite, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't know, because I did Valorant actually after.
Why?
competitively, and
Does
that
he mean
was
like
such
build
a
up his
journey
viewership and like get
blast.
back on top of it?
But then after that, I went Rogue.
Yeah, but even then, it's like for me when I hear you talk about Fortnite, I think, oh, he probably wishes more people were watching because I went,
Yeah.
I came back, dude. It's wild how obviously much bigger. I came back to Twitch, had like 80,000 people watching me play H1Z1, and then I never streamed again. I'm not even kidding for like 6 months.
You're insane.
You were playing Valorant to like 15,000 people every day, which is unbelievable for that game. Nobody averages 15,000
Hiko.
besides like Hiko and Shazam.
Yeah,
You know how hard that is to do? It's incredible.
I should have went back.
If you
I
streamed
fucked up.
Valorant tomorrow, I bet you'd have 10K minimum watching you.
Deal. I'll see. I'll try. I get back tomorrow in like the afternoon. We'll see.
You do it.
Money in your mouth is. I will play it. I love the game, man. The only reason I stopped
I'm gonna
playing
view
it.
bot you. How much do you want to bet?
I'm gonna view
don't
bot
know.
you.
5K.
I don't know.
I don't have the facilities, big man.
I think I have the facility is that big, man. Dude, yeah, that would be. I think that recently the last I went through this Final Fantasy 11 phase, which by the way, best game in the world, best MMO, always will be. And I streamed that for like 2 months, and I should have not been. I should have literally done nothing. That probably would have been better.
God,
You know-
Ninja looks so better. Like it was such a shame because everyone was like, "Oh, what's wrong with him? Is he not well? Is he sick? Is he doing drugs?" It's just like, what's going on? It's like apparently he had something like wrong with the back of his teeth, something like that, back of his throat, and he couldn't eat. He just completely fucked him up. But I was
great?
I was genuinely worried about him.
You could build it back up. You did it once.
Oh,
you
it
can
really
do
is.
it
It's
again.
so easy. You just have to stream the games that you're good at and people are
consistent.
watching
Tyler,
and be
the
consistent.
final question before
Yeah.
we end the podcast: Halo Reach 1v1. You versus Enable. Who wins?
I would destroy Ian.
All right. Video game time.